Here we are. Bob's back. Biker News Canada. I'm going to hit you with a couple news stories. These are coming from the last 2-3 weeks out of Canada here. Mostly out of Ontario, as a matter of fact. These news stories are going to cover some 1% clubs. The two big 1% clubs here in Canada. And it's just stuff I got out of the newspaper. Holy fuck, what's the matter with this? And so disclaimer, I'm not doing these stories to perpetuate the police point of view. Just so you know, generally I don't agree with any of the police's point of views on any of these stories. But I'm going to put the stories out there. You can decide for yourself. I can put them out there with my my input, my spin on them, I guess, my viewpoint. And then you can figure it out from there. So we're going to talk about both the big clubs in Canada, the Outlaws and the Hells Angels. We're going to start this video with a story about the Hells Angels in Hamilton. So it's from the CBS News, from their website. Hamilton, and then bracket outlaw motorcycle, and they use the G word. I don't like using the G word. I used to say club members arrested for robbery and assault. 5 men were charged in relation to a robbery that took place in July in Hamilton. Then, of course, they give a guy with a back patch. Now, if they're on their bikes, they're wearing their patch. It's how it goes. It's how it always goes. It's how it always will go. So 5 men who police say are members of outlaw motorcycle G's have been charged in connection with a robbery that took place in Hamilton in July. 4 members of the Hells Angels Motorcycle Club and one of the Red Devils Motorcycle Club were arrested August 21st by Hamilton Police and Ontario Provincial Police's Biker Enforcement Unit, said the OPP in a news release Friday. So, again, this is an old story. I've been sitting on it for a while. It was posted September 20th. So I've been sitting on it for about a week just because I don't know what kind of, even if I want to perpetuate these stories anymore. So, they said that there was some guy at a place and an establishment. So I don't know what that means. Could be anything. Probably a bar, right? Who knows? Strip club, whatever. And then they go on to say outlaw motorcycle G's continue to be involved in violent occurrences throughout our communities. 2 police forces executed search warrants at the homes of the accused, as well as the HA Clubhouse and the Red Devil Clubhouse in Hamilton. So that's one thing you got to remember when you're in a club. Sometimes you got to do shit like you got to do what you got to do. You're in a club. You're in a 1% club. Things go how they go. But you have to know that at some point, because of what happened, your clubhouses could be raided. So, they found some shotguns. Those aren't illegal necessarily. Some rifles, again, not illegal necessarily. Shotgun barrel, again, not illegal necessarily. Ammunition, body armor, and a gun license. So someone had an FAC in there. So all 5 men, aged from 34 to 51, were charged with assault causing bodily harm and robbery. 2 are from Hamilton, rest are from Brantford, Toronto, and Grimsby. So around Hamilton, right? For this guy away would be the Toronto guy. One of the men was also charged with breach of probation and authorized possession of a prohibited device. Again, I don't know what that means. Could be a knife, a flick blade, a brass knuckle. Who knows? Could be nothing. Could be a cell phone that he was on paper not to be having. Who knows, right? So another was charged with breach of firearms storage regulations. So, you own firearms in Canada. They got to be in a gun safe. We know that. It's part of the rules. So the Hells Angels Hamilton chapter started in 2005 and is one of 14 in Ontario. The club, has about 6,000 members worldwide. So it turns into an advertising piece for the HA. And the Red Devils are a sport club for the HA, according to the paper, according to the police. Police say they consider outlaw motorcycle G's to be criminal organizations. So the cops consider them criminal organization, but the courts don't. So always keep that in mind. Nobody's been deemed a criminal organization in a court of law, especially on the HA side of the world. They have not deemed the whole club as a whole as a criminal organization in Canada. So basically, you know, it could be anything. So I know online now, because of what I watch, what I look at on Facebook and all that stuff. I do get a lot of things pop up on my top line. A lot of them are these things from, I think it's Timu or one of those companies. It's an overseas company, and they're knocking off these clubs patches and support gear, and they're selling them. And if, for the people who don't know them, for the people who just say, "Hey, look, that looks cool," they don't know. Now, again, I came from 1% Club, so if I saw somebody wearing some support gear that had my club's name on it, but insignia that club members are only allowed to have, you're going to ask the guy for that shirt back. You just have to. And also, when you give out support stuff, you keep an eye on who you're giving it to, because if that person turns into a snitch, informant, CI, you got to get your stuff back. It makes your club look bad. So these are some things that I'm just putting out there so that people understand how it works. And that's our first story. Do with it what you will. That's our first story. And the next two stories is dealing with the Outlaws, or members of the Outlaws. Anyways, it's not the Outlaws as a whole. All right. I don't know where I paused that. Anyways, this last one. This is a story about Friday the 13th. You know, we had it in September this year. Most people go to a town called Port Dover on Lake Erie. The Outlaws MC have decided to try to get another town famous for Friday the 13th. It's called Gananoque, down the Kingston kind of area. It's a pretty little town down on the shores of the St. Lawrence River. Been there I've been there myself. Take my kids there a couple times. It's a great little place. So, well, many Ontarians have heard the story of bikers gathering in Port Dover on Friday the 13th. Few are likely aware that the Bike G, so you call it the Bike Club, also gets together in another small town on the same day. For the past 6 years, members of the Outlaws MC, one of the oldest bike clubs in the world, have been gathering Gananoque on Friday the 13th, and police and local officials have warned the public to expect the same on Friday. So this is obviously an old story before September 13th. So we've become a gathering place for the Outlaws Motorcycle Club on Friday the 13th. The mayor, John Beto told Global News. Oh yeah, this is from Global News, by the way. He says, as long as a notorious gang does not cause any disturbances, they're welcome in town. They always call them notorious, but every place says the same thing. As long as the club doesn't cause any disturbances, and they always call them gangs. I wish I missed that this time. Clubs. So, you know, we live in a country, in a place where we have the right to travel freely. We have the freedom of association, and all people who respect the law and act lawfully are able to enjoy these rights and freedoms. End of story. That's it. Charter of Rights. You know what I mean? So, and like you say, usually when a big club comes to a small town, they leave behind big money in that town. I know down in the States, the Outlaws or the HA or whoever it is, Mongols, whatever. When they go to a hotel, they'll book a whole floor, maybe 2 floors for security reasons, A, and it's because they can be. So they're all in one place. They're all having fun. They're all hanging out together. Guys from all different places, all over the world. As a matter of fact, I've been to some functions that have been worldwide. I met some brothers from Australia, from Germany, from Thailand, you name it, right? So these clubs are getting bigger and bigger, and the guys will travel and get together because basically that's why you joined a big club. So the Gananoque Police Services reminding citizens that these events have occurred over the past few years with minimum disruption. Are asked to contact police if you require assistance. That's it, right? So chances are, you know, they're going to grow this thing. Last year on the 13th in Dover, they had 50,000 people. I was at that one last year on my bike. And Gananoque, although they're starting with smaller crowds, they're gonna, it'll grow. I know it will. And if not, the Outlaws will go down there and have their own private Friday the 13th. It doesn't matter really to the bike club. They're not there for everybody else. They're there for themselves. So, and this I suppose might be an interesting byproduct of our efforts to attract more and more varied organizations to visit Gananoque. Be careful what you wish for. You might succeed. That was a shitty thing to say. So some in Gananoque at Maroni's Restaurant Sports Bar. See the bright side. Good. And, the waitresses tell me they don't mind at all. He says the girls, I find that kind of misogynistic or whatever. So there it is. And then by Saturday, all the bikers have left. And it was the same. I remember one time I went to Bike Week down in Daytona. So we get down there. And then this is when I was in the big club, of course. And we're down there. We're doing our thing. On Monday, from Saturday to Sunday of Daytona Bike Week, bikers knew pretty much what the hell they wanted. I was riding a Club Brothers bike up and down the beach in Daytona. It was fucking wicked. Now, come Monday, because it turned into spring break for the students, it was like, you bikers, get out. We're going to arrest y'all. And that was it. So they only liked the bikers for a short time. And then they want everyone to get the hell out so they can get on to their next thing. So that is the news I got for this quick thing. Like you say, it was stuff I was sitting on for a while. We can go back to the first story because there's a couple of things we can say about this story. When it talks about 5 men, they make it sound like 5 guys beat up one guy to take something off him, right? Now, it doesn't look good that it needs 5 guys to beat up one guy. So, my guess would be probably wasn't all 5 beating him up, right? They just charge all 5 because they're there. They'll charge all 5 and they'll get one of them, hopefully, to cop a deal to let the other guys go, which is dirty pool. It's not the way the justice system is supposed to be going. But anyways, those are my stories for today. I will be back midweek, beginning of the week, something like that. Bunch of updates from this weekend stuff. Looked like the Skull and Bones had a really good event out there. What were they? They were the pig roast. So we got some updates and thank yous from the Skull and Bones. And we got some updates and thank yous from the Outlaws MC. Apparently their event was very successful also. And we got some updates and thank yous from the Blackhawks Show and Shine, which happened today, Sunday. So that's what I got for today. Bob will be signing off on this one. Thanks everyone for watching. Like, share, and subscribe. And please watch me on Facebook. Get over there and sub to me on YouTube. Please, please, please. It means a lot to me. Thank you very much. And as always, respect.